Jack at the gallery was by far my favorite moment of the season so far. Craig is a chorus guy, and Madison, can I have a pair of your PJs? Welcome to Showmance, guys, the #1 show on YouTube doing deep dives on shows with no depth.
Shows as shallow as Bravo's promised that Leva would not be returning for season 11. Lies, lies, a deep, deep well of lies.
I was aghast when I saw her on the screen. I was just like, what?
Yeah, why? Not what? Why? Why? Just here to pounce on my Craigers?
Why?
That's all she shows up for.
Speaking of Krieger, do you guys know what this means? You know what that is? You know why people do that?
Yeah.
You probably don't, because you guys don't experience victory very often. But this is one thing that you do when you get victory.
To have a victory, somebody would have to win.
Stay tuned.
I'm going to tell you right now, it's a group loss. The whole team's taking an L tonight.
Not me and the Craig haters.
We start off at Sally's abode, and she's putting together her chicken coop, which I would like to call out as the world's largest Hail Mary for the attempt to hook up with Craig.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of things to get a guy's attention, but a chicken coop and chickens is not one of them. P.S. I actually want chickens on my own. I'm not doing it for a man's love, but if there is a man out there who wants to get chickens with me, info at nowtify.com, okay?
Shared joint custody.
No, we'll just live together and have all the custody of the chickens.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
You can be chicken parents. That's a wild move.
If Salley does not have those chickens anymore, do not tell me. Because I've never heard the chickens mentioned in a sentence that does not have Craig's name immediately following it. Like
Sally asked for the return policy on those chickens. The second Craig was like, it's not happening. When she told him that she loved
that's
him.
what I'm afraid of.
Yeah, those chickens are a sandwich.
No, if you get the chickies, you have to keep and love and take care of the chickies.
Yeah, I love a boy crazy woman, but what I don't love is an irresponsible, fickle pet owner that gets pets on a whim. She didn't think it through. Craig's like, wow, I wish I could just pull the trigger that quickly. Well, you don't, because they're a commitment.
Correct.
She's going to be in town for a couple months because the show is filming. But what happens after that? Like, I hope that you're down to stay home or get an assistant that stays home.
Yeah.
Do you think if you had chickens, you might post about them once in a while?
Yes, I was actually wondering. Someone needs to check her
I
Instagram
haven't
feed to
seen
see
it.
if there's chickens
A
on there.
lot of hot, what do you call them?
traps.
Thirst trap pics. There's a dog. There's
Chicks,
some friends. There's
but a different
car.
kind of chick.
There's a, whatever the hell that is, drive in, but you're not in a car. Let's see. Ooh, a lot of scrolling here. There's a bike, another dog, no chickens. Those chickens are
Nuggets.
nuggets.
Oh, God.
In her face. As soon as Craig was like, no, sorry, I've been lying to you and leading you
Oh
on
my God.
while I have this other girl I'm dating.
You're so dumb.
I'm dumb.
Well, okay.
Okay.
At the same time as she's setting up her chicken coop, God, there's got to be a great title card for you, like Craig flew the chicken coop or something. Because get it?
I got a good one.
That's not a bad one.
Turns out Craig's not a one-woman guy.
Oh my God.
Okay,
You
that's
have-
Question mark.
Well, we're not even there yet. We're
you're
not. See, they're
so
already
out of
fighting. I
control
don't
with
like
this.
this.
Why do you think that they were dating at the same exact time?
What do you mean?
First of all, they were never in a committed relationship.
Oh, okay, cool. I knew this is where
Apparently
you're
they
gonna
haven't
go.
even
Let's
hooked up,
start
though.
from the top.
No, he's talking about, he thinks that the girl
I don't think
that
they
he was.
started dating in March 27th. Watch what happens live. He said it. And they were saying that they were single in June. The show shoots from April to July. From March to June, Craig was dating Natalie Buffet. While sitting in a hot tub with two chicks, totally fine. The texting the one girl, though, being like, you should have stayed if you wanted to. Not fine, Craig. Saying that you want your old girlfriend back while you have a girlfriend. Not fine, Craig. Not a one-woman guy, Craig.
I think that your timeline is completely off, and I'm just going to let you bury yourself. So
Okay.
go ahead.
No,
This whole episode revolved around Craig. It was actually quite sad. We saw Shep off on vacation somewhere, and I thought, wow, for once, Shep's like, I'm going to be over here, and you guys can all argue about really all the same, be doing all the same thing to each other, arguing about it and pointing at each other as if you're not doing the exact same thing.
I think where I get tripped up with
What's
it.
cute, Craig? Yeah, you're right.
I think where I get tripped up with it, and this is just like my overarching note with this show, but also this episode, but also this show writ large, is none of these, I'm looking at this show as existing in a bubble, right? Like these are the characters that we have to choose from or like talk about because this is the option we have. Not like every guy in America, right? Is Craig the best guy in America? Is Shep the best guy in America? Is Austen America's best boyfriend? I'm looking at these three dudes, and we don't know enough about Winchester, and I'm worried he's not even going to come back next season because I feel like he has no gusto, but I want him to because I like him and I think he's a breath of fresh air, but that's a whole other topic. But point is, I'm not looking at Craig as, oh my God, you are the world's best boyfriend, the greatest man. I'm looking at him in comparison to all of these guys.
And as you've explained 1,500 times, no,
in this bubble,
the douchebag block. Has everyone not heard the douchebag
HGTV
block?
analogy?
Yeah, the HGTV
because
analogy.
really, if I'm looking at it, right, it's
Yeah.
like here are two dudes, Shep and Austen, who cheat on their girlfriends. Craig doesn't cheat on his girlfriends. Here,
Shep
hold on.
cheats.
What?
Shep cheats.
Yes. Remember Shep cheated on Taylor multiple times.
Are you being a Shep apologist?
Here are two guys that Austen is almost 40 years old and he's or like mid to late 30s and he's never been in a relationship longer than a year and a half and he dates women all the time. It's not like, listen, but I've had two boyfriends my whole life. The guy in my 20s and then Shane, which was basically all of my 30s. If I had not really had a lot of relationships and only one of them was a year and a half, it's like, okay, well, the odds were against me because I didn't have a lot of boyfriends, but he's had so many girlfriends and you're telling me you could only make it past the 1 year mark with one of them?
Yeah.
That you clearly don't want a relationship.
No.
And by the way, like people say like, oh, I met Craig and he wasn't that nice. Well, people have also said I've met Shep or I saw him on an airplane and he wasn't that nice. And then there's the video of Shep being really awful to that
Homeless
unhoused
guy.
person.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's just like, I'm just comparing these three people. I'm not saying, oh my God, I think Craig is the next George Clooney and we should all watch out because JFK Jr., you know, Craig, you've got nothing on Craig. Like, I'm just saying out of these three guys, I think he is the best option and here is why.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I feel like nobody hears me say or I'm not explaining it correctly.
No, you know what someone said that I can't remember where I can't remember if it was on Spotify or like where the comment was, but they said something like, I'm in my 30s and I am not down to settle for mediocrity. And I'm like, as I said, in my 30s, the whole thing is once you get older, you start realizing like, I'm not going to get every single thing I want from a person. So for someone to be successful and good looking and very sweet and not cheat on you and really actually want a family and all the things like, it's not going to sound so bad.
Yeah. And I think also maybe it's not highlighted enough that like 100% Craig, I think, needs to look at his relationship with alcohol. And we've all said that. He's definitely better when he's sober. But also Shep needs to look at his relationship with alcohol. He even went on the reunion saying, I know I need to look at this. And then we see him the next season falling asleep on a beach chair drunk and none of his friends can find him. Yeah. So it's just like, I'm just comparing apples to apples in this group. And if gun to my head, if I had to pick one of these guys, I would pick Craig.
Yeah.
Now, if we're going bigger Bravo sphere, I understand why Paige broke up with Craig. The things that she said that were her grievances against him, I understand those.
Yeah.
Those would bother me also. If I had to pick a team, I'm more team Paige. Now, if we're getting real big picture, real life, I'm never dating Craig. Not that he's asking, not that he's even interested. There are things there that would really bother me. I'll speak for myself, I'm just talking about this world, period. And I feel like I get where Mark gets so upset about it because I get so upset about Jesse Lawley on The Valley. Like for some reason, that guy chaps my hide like nobody's business. However, I rarely see Jesse have any good quality. And when he does, I will say, fair enough, that was nice, or I whatever.
He's mostly, he'll have a funny moment.
Or
and
a
then you're
funny
like, that's
moment.
funny. You can't help but laugh, but then you move on. You're never looking at Jesse and being like, what a stand-up guy.
Correct. And I feel like it's very rare for Mark to be able to see that. And so that's maybe where I get confused.
Yeah. Listen, I will say this, and you can buy it or not. I'm playing a little bit of a role, doing a little bit. Everyone, I'm the Craig loving apologist. Christy Sheeks and I we're here. We're queer. Get used to it. We're gonna stand on this mountaintop for probably until we die. Like, why not? Like, it's so benign, and who cares? And he's got a great smile, and who cares? And I won't start listing all the things that he has, but I think you take me too seriously, and then I think that it sets you off. And when I'm just dicking around, I'm like, do you think I'd be that serious about my love for a man? I'm engaged. Like, do you think it's that serious? Like, you should. I would say, get out of my podcast studio.
Of protesting going on right now. I feel like the lady doth protest too much is coming to mind.
I also
listen,
would like
it's all good. You guys, it's fine.
I need a beer.
Who doesn't? Well, no, thank you. The gluten. I hate my life right now. I'm kidding. I don't hate my life. I love my life. I just think maybe the doctor I saw was right, and maybe I can't have gluten, even though I fought her tooth and nail and said I'm Italian and Danish. Those are two gluten-eating communities, which apparently means nothing when you get blood work back. But no, I just want to say this because Mike has said time and time again, I don't hate Craig. I just am explaining what bothers him about me, or words to that effect.
That and trying to clear up all the bullshit that the Craig apologists are saying, like, oh, he's a one-woman guy. He dates with intent. He's like, but now that we've seen that that's not maybe true for this particular time in his life, now it's, well, they weren't in a committed relationship. Like, it's just
no. See, this is great.
She said it.
This is great.
The girl is the one that said it. The girl is the one that said we are not in a committed relationship. And also, not Austen, Craig said that
but they were in a relationship,
like,
right?
No, they weren't. They weren't in a committed relationship. That's what the girl says. Huh?
Okay.
No, I think this is great because this is where we meet our fork in the road, where Nat and I go in one direction and Mike goes in another. Because I think we see the details of what Craig is doing vastly, like very differently.
Yeah.
And that's where I think we get into this like, yes, no, you're wrong, you're right kind of area. Does that not make sense?
It makes sense.
Because I can see how Mike would feel that way if, in my opinion,
he's felt that way. He has never had any loss for this dude. It just today he decided that there's a timeline of a woman overlap.
Because
and so
I
that
was
he
watching,
thinks it blows up everything that we've said about the loyalty thing. And I think you're really excited about that. And I just want you to know I don't think that's going to happen tonight.
It occurred to me while I was watching the episode that, like, wait a second, when was he dating this Natalie girl? So I went to the Google machine, did some research. Turns out, oh shoot, they're dating at the same time filming's going on. Fine, I don't care. Craig, do whatever you want. But if you're dating a girl and then you're inviting, and I'm assuming Craig and that Natalie girl were sleeping together. They probably had some sexual relations, maybe.
I don't speak on a lady's private business.
They were intimately involved, possibly?
Okay. But the dude's inviting another girl back to his house or telling her, you can stay if you want after a late night of hot tubbing with two girls. But you actually like the other girl, but the girl you don't like, you're inviting
single,
over to your house.
I think this is where I'm confused. If you're single, can't you do that? Like,
Listen,
if you're just dating?
if you're single, but you guys have been,
but he is single.
Hours.
He hasn't had a girlfriend.
He was dating Natalie Buffet.
But I'm dating.
Buffet.
I can date more than one person because I'm just dating
Yeah,
people.
but you're not Craig. You're not a one-woman guy.
But I am a one-woman guy.
This is all that's been talked about is Craig has a great smile and he's not going to cheat. He dates with intent.
But that's not cheating. See, this is where I think
Listen,
we
if
go
I'm
in
not
two
gonna
different
get to
directions.
finish anything, then you guys are always going to be Correct.
This might be a night that we need some meteor. Well, my favorite moment of the episode of the whole season actually is coming up because while Sally's doing her chicken coop, Craig and Jack show up at the art
Gallery.
Thank you. I died when they walked in and Jack is schwitzing like nobody's business. He's trying to, air out. He knows he's on camera. He wants to make a good impression, and she's like, oh my God, I can't believe you're coming around. And Jack's like, oh, we're having a day.
Yeah.
When he said we're having a day, I'm
Yeah.
like, Jack, I couldn't love you more if I tried. You are the most adorable sidekick to this guy I have ever seen on television. Like I just think Jack seems like such a great kid with such a good heart. Like I want a Jack in my life. I want just Jack in my life.
I know.
He could just, if you ever want to move out to LA, I'll hire you for something, Jack. And then he was just so sweet.
I know. I loved it when she goes, do you guys want some champagne? He's like, yes.
Oh,
like,
right.
Yes. Yes. What kind of question is this?
Oh my God, I loved that. Like when I used to be an assistant and I would go somewhere and they were like, do you want something to drink? And I'm like, I would love to drink on the job.
Beverage.
I would love to be having a Coors Light right now, but I got to watch my gluten intake for a minute.
What beer doesn't have gluten?
Not good ones.
Oh, okay.
Actually, that's not true. I've never had a gluten-free beer. If there's anyone out there that actually has had a good gluten-free beer, holler at your girl. Because I'm just testing it. I'm going to reintroduce.
Is there such a thing as a gluten? Don't you need
I
lots
think,
of gluten for beer?
Yes, but you need a lot of gluten for bread too, and they've somehow figured that out. So I'm wondering if there is a good gluten-free beer. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep gluten out of my system, and then I'm just going to put Coors back in and see if it causes like my skin to freak out because I can't figure out what else it was. Anyway, back at the ranch, I do love and. Earmuffs, Mike. I do love. Craig just was like, I'm happier when I'm sharing my life with someone. Yeah. And that just resonated with me so much because I say to everyone, it's a very slippery slope when you're like, oh, I'll be happy when I get this new fancy car, or I'll be happy when I can buy those shoes that I've wanted. And here's the deal, okay? If you have done the work on yourself and continue to do the work on yourself, then yes, getting that car that you worked your butt off for, or that somehow the heavens have opened and someone gifted something to the shoes to you or whatever you want. Yes, it will make you happier because you're not looking to the car or the shoes or the significant other to make you happy because you realize the call's coming from inside the house. Happiness is an inside job and I've made myself happy. And now this is just icing on the cake that is my wonderful life. Okay. If you haven't done that work, then yeah, the car's going to make you happy for a limited period of time. And then you're going to be miserable again, because wherever you go, there you are. But if you have done that work on yourself, then yes, the relationship will make you happier. And I say that to people all the time. When I am in a relationship, I am happier than when I'm not in a relationship because I love a buddy, as Nat has so astutely pointed out time and time again. And I know it sounds so corny, but I'm corny. And Craig and I are both Aquarians, and I just know that like when an Aquarius person finds the right person, like Natalie's a perfect example of this, you know right away.
Yeah.
I met you in an instant and I was like, this girl is my best friend. I'm obsessed with her. I want to spend every day with her. Let's hang out all the time. Oh my God, I live close. I can walk to you. And by the way, I wasn't wrong. So, and you do make my life better. And I'm so much happier with you in my life than if you weren't. So like, I don't know. I just got that. And I don't know. I just liked hearing a guy say it also.
I love that. Exactly that. Like you don't hear it that often. Again, so many things about Craig. He's such an offbeat weirdo, like, and says things that like you're just not really seeing around town. Like I know I've been around town. They're not saying that. So these things just stick out, and it's like I think that's why dudes aren't really fans of him because like they're like, oh, who says? Like they don't say that. This guy just says things like that all the time.
Yeah, because you know what it is.
Let the garden host the party. When have you ever heard anyone say? A girl hasn't even said that to my knowledge.
Maybe Martha Stewart.
Maybe,
but
yeah.
like again, just existing on this show, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm all fakakta. So sorry. What I was going to say is, when I'm watching the show, right, and I'm so frustrated with Austen, watching him like not show up for Audrey, not drive there except for when he wants to get out of town, dragging her along in this relationship, or like hearing Shep in his confessional, like, here I am, 45 years old and still can't figure it out. And then I just hear one guy say, I'm just happier when I'm in a partnership. I'm just like, it helps me. I don't know how else to put it. Like I think
It just reminds you that they're out there.
It reminds me that they're out there. And then also like, just to kind of circle back to what we were saying earlier, that's my scale on which I'm judging.
Yeah, it's a
dudes.
simple scale. The way that he looks at Charlie, to me, is so different than the way that he looks at Salley. I'm not saying that him and Salley haven't had like a flirtatious kind of banter or whatever, but Craig looks at Charlie like he kind of stumbles over himself a little bit. Like he kind of gets
nervous.
Yeah, and like things that he wears, you're like, you're not wearing that to the ER to see Salley. You're wearing that to this gallery.
Yeah, look how he showed up to the feed store. As opposed to like and granted, you're not going to the feed store in like a pressed button down, but like, I don't know. I just think he puts effort into when he shows up to see.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Was his shirt like really unbuttoned down? Like,
don't remember, but I wouldn't put it past him.
The amount of buttons that were unbuttoned felt like a choice. It felt like Jack, what do you think? This button or this button? Like it felt like there's probably 15 minutes of that before the decision was made.
Yeah.
But I just thought like he had a moment and went, I'm doing it. Like I take care of myself. And I went to the gym this morning. And I just think that those little moments are adorable to see a guy like him kind of fall over himself still. I watched the after show and Shep said, like, of course, everyone's bagging on him, like, this guy can't get laid to save his life, or like doesn't try to get laid, or like can't close a deal or whatever. And then Shep said, Craig's pensiveness is actually my favorite thing about him. It's pretty adorable. He does not know how good looking he is. And Shep was like, he's a pretty good looking guy and he has no idea. He's constantly questioning over and over, like, should I go for, like, he doesn't go for it because he doesn't know if he's going to get it. This guy could have anything in the world and he still doesn't get it, because he just got dropped off the 405 and ran over by a semi. So of course he's going to be even more like, keeping his cards close and taking his time, like not putting his toe in right away. That sounds gross, his toe in.
Dipping his toe in.
Yeah.
I said last week that maybe, just an idea that maybe Craig talks a big game off camera, and that's why the boys are like, dude, you don't even make out with these girls. You don't bang these girls. But now I'm wondering if Craig
Minnie
is like a one-woman guy, which I've never doubted until a few hours ago. But let's say he is, and he's also a guy on a TV show where like we need some story. Nothing's happening this year, arguably, right? It's all about Craig. Totally fine. Last year was all about Shep. But maybe Craig's not hooking up with these two girls because it is just for the show, and he has a girlfriend. Like he has a girlfriend that nobody knows about at the time of filming. He said he was very happy on Watch What Happens Live. She was there, so they're clearly having a life together at the time. So maybe Craig is a one-woman guy, and that's why he never hooked up with these two chicks in this hot tub, is because he had a girlfriend and he wasn't going to do that. But the producers are like, yeah, bro, but let's have some story. And he was like, cool, I'll do story, but both of you know this isn't happening. You can do your little lines in your chicken coop and your whatever, but like, I'm not hooking up with you guys because I have a girlfriend. That would make a little bit of sense to me.
Okay, now I
believe
just
it, but it would make sense.
there
More
is
sense than
something about the back and forth with Salley that does make me look at the two of them and think it does very much feel like a storyline. When I see the way that he interacts with Charlie, I do feel like it's organic and genuine and authentic and all the things, because like I said, it's just a different vibe between the two of them. But let me just read this thing really fast and like just get to the bottom of this. So what would be the date that he could no longer be seeing this girl?
Don't make this a me thing, dude.
No,
This is not me
Mike,
telling Craig what he can and can't do.
No.
I
I'm
was
asking
watching
the
an
date.
episode.
The
The
dates.
storyline of these two girls being in the hot tub came
Right?
up. It popped into my head fuck. How funny that he's leading on these two girls only to bail on both of them for this Natalie Buffet girl. I wonder when that started. So I Googled it just to be like,
Right.
he led these two hot tub chicks on. Salley thinks she got led on. Who knows if that's true? He texted her she should have stayed if she wanted to. That seems a little bit like, yeah, let's hook up. Never happened. He's definitely interested in Charlie. He's made that super clear, right? So I simply was like, wow, how funny that he juggled these two girls, made them both think that he wanted to date them, flirted with them, totally fine, and then bounced them both for another girl. That made me go look up when he started dating the Natalie Buffet, and it was basically before the show, right before the show started filming. So if they were together for a month, 2 months, whatever, non-committal, fine. That's fine. All of it's fine. It just goes against what Craig says, right? That's all.
That's what I'm saying. Dates. That's all I'm asking for. What's the overlap dates that you're talking about?
He was on Watch What Happens Live on March 27th, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
So
they broke. They
had been seeing each other for a minute, and then he says, the second that we were associated in public, she totally backed off. Like they were casual. They were never committed. And then as soon as probably after Watch What Happens, when it like comes out that this is a thing, she's probably getting phone calls. Her publicist is probably asking her, are you really like wanting to disclose? And she's probably like,
probably. So March 27th, they're together. The show starts in April.
Does it start
January,
in April?
February, March.
Yeah, but who knows when in April? I don't know when. It could have been beginning, middle, or end of April.
So
But
March,
I just want to say this. Does no one remember, like, I also look at dating as I'm not committed to one person.
You do.
Right?
Craig doesn't.
No, but I think he does, because don't you remember when him and Paige started dating? He was very open he was also seeing Kristen Cavallari, and Paige got really, at one point, that's when she said she realized she knew she really liked him.
I'm pretty sure the Kristen Cavallari thing was a secret until the podcast where she had him and Austen on stage.
No, because he told Paige. Okay. And Paige said, he's been open with me that he's seeing other people, and I'm also seeing other people, but I realized I really liked him because I now, like, when he said, oh, I saw this girl, I got my jealousy kind of came up, and it showed me how much I liked him.
And that's fine. You can date 100,000 people at the same time if you want. But Craig has also said more times than once that he's a one-woman guy. He doesn't like dating around. He doesn't like one-night stands. He's not a sleep-around kind of guy. He plays the long game. Like, so he's set himself up to be this guy that I love. I love that, Craig. Cheaters. I'm a one-woman dude. I found her. I liked her. It was it. I'm not around. Like, so that I admire that. I respect that. I love that. But when I start seeing things that I'm like, oh, you're not 100% that dude that you claim and you tell everyone, then I'm gonna say something about it, because we're on a podcast doing a show about these dumb people, right? And you could say the same about us. Like, who are we to talk about these other people? Who cares? But this is all I'm saying is this guy says one thing often. I'm a storyteller, often. That's Craig's MO, is to feed you what seems so amazing and so sweet and put a little smile and be like, well, I have a friend, he has an oyster farm, and I don't know if you like oysters, but do you want to go?
I think it's a cute date idea, personally.
It's a beautiful date idea. And the part where he's like, and then, we could just like spend the whole day together. I mean, not that like, I didn't mean it like, bro, you totally meant that. You snuck it in just like Salley went and got chickens after you said you'd get like, it's just a little
I think
unauthentic to me. And everyone who loves Craig is like, he's so authentic. He's so trustworthy. He's a one woman kind of guy. He's a lot like, so fine. I truly don't care. All I get bothered or upset, or not even bothered or upset, just like we do a show and I see these things. I'm like, oh, he's flirting with these two girls. When did he bail on them to go with this other chick? Oh my God, he was with the other chick before, maybe during this hot tub scene. So is it just a scene? As another note I have, like, how much of this are we to believe? Because there's There's no social media about him being with Salley. There's no social media about him being with Charlie. There is social media about him being with Natalie Buffet while apparently filming the scenes in the hot tub with. So like, what story are we really like? It kind of gets me to like, oh, I think reality is also dying. Like obviously we know reality isn't real, but it is supposed to be as close to a real experience with interesting people. Like that's a reality show. And then we pepper in some bullshit along the way to make it fun. So this show's just, it's not seemingly real anymore.
Quick sidebar. I actually really do think The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is pretty real. Like I've been doing, and I could be pronouncing your name wrong, so let me know, and I apologize if I am. It's Emmeline. It's like Emily, but with a like
Could be Emily N.
Oh yeah, and I'm dyslexic. I don't know, but
No,
it
could
looks
totally
like
be Emily.
Emily.
I
So
don't know.
tell me if it's right. She was the one I was saying last week who said, "I promise, Court, like tune into The Secret Lives of
Oh,
Mormon
yeah,
Wives,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you're gonna love it."
Yeah.
And I did start to love it because I was saying, this was during Salt Lake, that they really were bringing in so much of that world that like, oh my God, I'm learning about the Mormon world and where it's failed people or hurt people or
Yeah.
what it's given people that's good and whatever. And they film 2 seasons a year, which is a lot. And I've been listening to some of them doing interviews outside of the show. And it seems like they're all pretty candid and pretty honest with what's going on. It's a new generation of kids that have found a way to like not, or maybe the show's just so young that that's why it's happening. Cause it does feel different than the typical stuff that you're seeing on Bravo, where you know there's more scripting and
Yeah.
story happening. And when everybody sits down to talk about stuff, you feel like you're getting really candid stuff. So I just wanted to say that because it does feel very, very different.
Yeah.
I think, and I don't want to beat this dead horse. I really, really don't. I just want to say my piece on it. I think where I get confused is I feel that like if I'm dating and the reason I say I, like from my point of view, I do believe that Craig is looking at it through the same lens of, yeah, I can, if I'm dating and I could be hooking up with this person, but I could be also like going out on a date with another person and seeing if that's the right fit, because maybe this isn't 100% doing it. When he says I'm a one man or woman person, to me, I hear that as if I am in a committed relationship with you, I'm not cheating on you. That's how I heard it personally. And so I think you're allowed to date. You're allowed to be in a hot tub with someone one night and go to breakfast with someone else the next morning. And you're not doing anything wrong because you are a single person who is dating, and single people date. That's how I took what he said.
I took what he said to mean that, especially after I read up on her statements about the relationship, is that she was never looking for anything serious. They were not in a committed relationship. This was I don't want to call it something as like cheap as like no strings attached, whatever, but like they had known each other before, they met up somewhere. It was just sort of the timing of everything. Everybody has that. I remember the first person that you dated after Barry, and I remember it being like, always referring to this guy as the person that gave you your sea legs back.
Yes, because he was my Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah, and you had nothing but the loveliest things to say about him.
Wonderful man.
And you were only so grateful to have gotten, like, thank God he came on. He played such a pivotal role in my life, even though he wasn't the one. Like, he was as important, the role that he played, as the one. Like, they've all got their places and times and all the things. And
That's what Craig said about Natalie Buffet. It's the first person that came into his life and made him feel whole again.
So that's
what I said
exactly
about Lieutenant. I won't say his full name.
Craig said that too. Thank you. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. What?
That
I'm
is
just
what
saying,
I said
that's exactly what I'm
years
trying to say.
ago.
I didn't know that Craig said, or maybe I've heard him say that. I didn't know. I don't think I knew he was talking about her. Anyway, yes, that is a person that everyone has after a breakup of a very important relationship in your life.
And it makes you feel like necessary again.
Yeah.
Or for me, that's what it did for me.
I also think when Craig says he doesn't like to date multiple people, I think that he goes into it wishing that they were the one. He wants everybody he goes on a single date with to be the one. He's dying. When he goes on a date, he's probably praying before he gets, please let this be the one. It turns out that it's not, for whatever reason. Maybe it's their choice. you know?
You know who I was listening to in an interview today? John Mayer. He was on Call Her Daddy. And obviously everybody knows he got lambasted in the press in like his 20s and 30s for all of his dating escapades.
Yeah, Taylor made sure of that.
Sexcapades. Yes. Oh God, I love Taylor so much.
Yeah.
But he said he's like, clearly, like I, made my mistakes or whatever, and people might not believe this about me, but even back then, I went into every relationship with the best of intentions, hoping that you were the one. Like I never dated someone thinking, oh, I'm just screwing around with you.
Yeah.
And I actually have been around him a decent amount, not a lot, but like, no, kind of a decent amount. There was a period of time where like I would see him a lot at certain parties. And you could tell when he showed up with a girl, like he was there with her. And when he was at the party and she wasn't there, but they were still dating, he was still with her. He wasn't flirting with other people and doing the whole rigmarole that he could have done being a celebrity and whatever. But he said, he goes, I swear to you, I went into it with the intention that this is going to be a long-term relationship. Hope maybe my person, like, you know, and if someone said to me, you're going to have the best time, but in 3 months to the day, this is going to end, I would never start the relationship because that's not what I want. And I understood what he was saying. And it's Craig adjacent to me, that statement.
Agreed.
So anyway, all right. So our next scene is Madison moving into her house. And I think we could all agree on this. I really like Madison's relationship with her husband. I think she is into him. I think he is so into her. I like at the end of the conversation when she was like, and just don't forget what you got back home. Like he would ever forget this bombshell, right? That has like changed his whole life and is pregnant with their child.
Birthing a child for him.
Yeah,
she didn't even want any more kids. Yes, she wanted them for him, but like wasn't something that she was like raring to do. She like spent so much time working on her body. She's 5'3". I love when she said pregnancy's not for the 5'3" population. No, and I always say that people are like, oh my God, you lost so much weight. I'm like, it's 10 pounds, 10 pounds on me. I'm 5'4". So like it's a size. It's a whole size. I don't have anywhere else to put it. So
no, totally.
Yeah,
totally. My sister who's tiny, also like 5'3". When she was pregnant, she's like, I am miserable. And she lives for her son. She's an incredible mom, but she's just like, this can't end soon enough. I hate this experience.
Yeah. No, first of all, the whole carrying an alien around in your belly, that's something that's already like, gives me the twitch to think about. But especially I hear that basically, and of course this makes sense because you're at your biggest and you're also getting antsy and you've been doing this for however long, but those last 2 months are like the gnarliest because you're housing basically a full size infant. Like the infant that you see is not too far off from what's in there that last month at least, if not more. And that's oh my God.
To me, we always talk about this.
Yeah, you've always been like, all I want to be is pregnant. Yeah. And I'm like,
you can raise it. I'll give it to you to raise. Yeah. I'm kidding. I would, of course.
I just don't. Well, I also don't like also childbirth. It's also like that's maybe one of my biggest fears in life. Like that I think about. It's like getting buried alive. Like these are the things I think about. Yeah, I know. We won't have like, let's get that out of our heads right now. But like to be looking forward, oh my God, let this be over. But it being over by you having to birth a watermelon out of a tennis ball or whatever, or
push a watermelon out the size of hole of like a lemon or something.
Or a lemon or something. Yeah. Whatever it is. Like, so how do you even look forward to it? You're like, oh, I can't wait for this to happen. Who knows if it's going to last 3 days? How long was Stephanie's labor? Like 3 days or something?
God. That traumatized me. Yeah. We went to a friend's birthing process. Yeah. And she's super open. She was like, come on in the room. Like we're all family, whatever.
She had this giant suite because her uncle, it was some big mucky muck at Cedars. And it don't matter. You could have a Four Seasons room. I don't
birth
care.
In the Taj Mahal.
If 3 of those days are labor that is just not coming to fruition, like it's wasted.
Yeah,
like,
that was
no one cares.
She's a beast. The fact that she got through that and with a smile on her face, but that's our girl.
Yeah.
I worked on Roseanne's talk show a bazillion years ago when I first moved to LA, and she had a segment on there called 3 Great Gals, which was like started as like ladies doing jobs that dudes would typically do, and then we would do a profile on them. And then this one lady, I can't remember what she did, but she was pregnant and she was having a C-section. And I don't know if you remember Mo Gaffney, he's a comedian.
Oh, yeah.
And so this lady agreed to have her C-section on Roseanne's talk show. So they sent Mo Gaffney down to like interview the lady straight up while having a C-section. And it was a small crew. And we go down, there was a PA at the time. And we send the camera guys back when cables and stuff, there was no Wi-Fi and wireless crap. The camera guy went in, I think the audio guy went in, but the cables were on the ground. And the doctor was like, the cables can't be on the ground. Like, it's disgusting, whatever, dirty cables. I was the only one left. I had to stand at the foot of the bed, holding cables. This lady was right there. The doctor was over here. Mo Gaffney was here with the thing, like literally interviewing, and they sliced this woman open, layer by layer, and literally reached in and pulled out a screaming human. And it is
Women are
the
amazing.
most craziest thing. I've seen so many crazy things. That is in the top 3 of the wildest shit I've ever seen in my life.
So Jake, who has been on this show before, he was doing his birthright trip back in Israel. And when you do that, you have to volunteer, for something. The country will say, like, okay, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And he gets put in an ambulance as like an EMT, even though he's had no training.
I forgot about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think he told the story on the
think
show.
so too,
And he said it was his first day in Israel. He was doing the back of the ambulance stuff, and a woman gets in, and she is 4 seconds away from giving birth. And he has to deliver the baby for her. And Jake is a gay. So not only has he never delivered a baby, he's never been near a vagina except from when he was coming out of one. So but it happened, and turns out it's kind of like listen, you need doctors and of course C-sections, but like if everything's healthy, it just kind of does itself. It's like a not a self-cleaning organism, but you know what I mean.
That sounds.
They've been making babies for
believable.
millions
many a
of years.
year.
And
So
there was
anyway,
no doctors around.
Would you have
And when I
rather-
say crazy and wild, like amazing, like not like it was
like a mirror, like
fucking a lot, like
crazy.
literal. This dude reached in and Simba this kid in the air. Like,
Would you
magic.
have rather seen the cutting and the peeling back layers of a intestine, belly, whatever? Would you have rather seen that, or would you have rather been holding the cables front and center?
to a natural
Well,
birth.
I wouldn't have seen that because then the doctor would have been in my way. I think probably the C-section, only because doctor's in your way for vaginal birth, and then the other thing, it was so interesting. Like when I was younger, I was that kid that watched surgery shows. Like I would love watching surgeries, like operations and stuff. There's like a channel, I don't remember what it was, they would show surgeries in the OR, whatever. And then I destroyed my knee when I was a kid, tore my ACL and all kinds of other things, and had to have ACL reconstruction. And that was back in the day when they would literally, you can feel there's a chunk out of my shin and a chunk out of my kneecap. They took a dowel piece of bone out of my shin and kneecap, sliced a piece of patella tendon. They took that out, drilled a hole in my knee, slid this thing in, and drilled it in place. That's what's happening here. And when I was 18 at the time, I remember going to the doctor, and he did his little thing, and he laughed. He was the doctor. He was the orthopedic surgeon for the Sacramento Kings at the time. He laughed. When he came into the room with my x-rays or whatever, he was like, sorry, wrong room, and walked out. This is 100% true story. Came back in 30 seconds later and was like, are you Mike Connor? And I was like, yeah, that's me. What's up? And he was like, you have the knee of a 40-year-old athlete. And I was 18. I had done it 2 years earlier, snowboarding, but I was like, it's fine. So kept playing sports and soccer, whatever. Was playing basketball one day and just jacked it back a little. And it would swell up like crazy stuff. And so I got home, and I hadn't been living with my mom at the time for a while. It was like, I just had moved back in with her. And she was like, oh my God, what the hell? I'm like, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. 4 or 5 days later, it was still, she's like, get in the car. We're going to the doctor. So 2 years of no ACL, beat my knee to shit. That being said, I was like, yo, he's like, do you want to be knocked out or have an epidural? And I was like, what's the epidural? He's like, oh, well, we'll shoot a thing in your spine and it numbs you from down, from the hips down, and you'll be awake the whole time. And I was like, that one, I want to watch. I want to see what you're doing. Like, I legitimately wanted to watch. And he was like, okay. I didn't get to watch because they put a little thing up, probably for the best. Also, don't do the epidural if you have an option. My back still is effed from it. The dude shoved it and I like flinched and he had to pull it out and shove it back in.
Okay.
It was horrible.
Moving on.
Anyways, he's like, you can't, like, I'm not going to let you watch because it's just ridiculous. But he made a video, a VHS tape. And so when I got home, I would watch that that tape of the surgery. And when the drill is going in and just going bonk, bonk, from that moment on, I was like, okay, I don't think I want to do, I don't know what it was, but I was.
The surgery channel lost a viewer?
100, I unsubscribed, like thumbs down. I just didn't like it anymore. And hadn't watched or seen anything until 7 years later, and was here living my childhood dream of seeing the actual surgical procedure take place in real life. It was so interesting. And like, I won't get into the details, but like, if you've ever seen a C-section or performed one as a doctor, you know, it's interesting. It's just interesting. So I think I probably would pick a C-section. I don't think I would do it again, but given the choice, a C-section, because it just was
want to
incredible.
apologize to our audience. I'm so sorry I asked. Like, really sorry about that.
I got more of
Especially anybody
those.
who's like just in their car listening right now, like, oh God.
I thought we were talking about Southern Charm. We are. And so all right. So back at the app, we've got Austen and Winchester meeting up to have a beer.
The date.
And
I love that Winchester's getting dates, going on all these dates.
with all the boys?
The boys. Boy
Totally.
Dates. Yeah.
I
won't bring up the part where he called Craig a narcissist because I don't want to piss anybody off.
no.
but That
Roll the
happened.
tape back. I've called Craig that multiple times. Multiple times.
I remember.
And he said a narcissistic streak. Not a narcissist. You can have, and I think my words were, you can have narcissistic tendencies. That's dudes in general. I think dudes are born narcissists. Like they're prone to that. It's all about me, and self-importance, and that's just like a very big generalization of men. I think
remember
many women can
The biggest
the biggest narcissist.
generalization.
I don't think you're getting a lot of arguing against.
Well, I just thought that Winchester, this is why I want to see him back next season. He really nailed it. Like, I do think he adds nice stuff to the conversation. It's just not enough of an add to the conversation, which is why I'm worried about his future on the show. But he said, you know, I'm not so much witnessing a friendship as I am a rivalry. And I just had such a, oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It is. It's Austen is, he victimizes himself a lot. And Craig does have these narcissistic tendencies.
Yeah.
And I just think that never the twain shall meet with people that haven't, you know, really figured out how to be. We're always going to, Shane says this all the time, like we all have our spots, right? So like I have a fear of abandonment as a spot. And even though I work on it and I get much better in that area, it's still a spot. So something could happen and I get triggered. Like Natalie and I really bonded when we first met because her marriage ended similarly to the way my relationship.
Hey, where'd you go?
Yeah. One day we're traveling to every state in the country, and the next day you are gone, never to be seen again. And that messes with you real bad. I wanted to say the F word, but we don't curse on this show.
We don't curse in the South.
But it really does screw you up. And so like when something happens that's even close to that, it can like just a little bit trigger me.
Yeah.
But like clearly these guys just haven't done enough work to get to the place where they can have a good conversation. And we talked about this last episode when they were talking at Miss Pat's. I don't even know why we had the conversation because it didn't really seem, they both seemed immovable.
But the whole since jump, right? Like Shep Craig, when Austen finally shows up, like their whole relationship has been rivalry, right? Like it's always been that.
But no,
it's always
Craig
been
and
the little,
Austen?
Craig and Austen didn't start that way as rivalry.
all three of them, like Craig was always shit on by those two. There was always the like, oh, the little brother, he would say it, right? But Craig and Shep don't fight like this. Not to this extent.
No, they
right?
did all the time. And like now they don't. They have both said, like they hadn't spoken, I guess, for almost 2 years. Like or maybe they did, like obviously the shows are every year, so they have to speak to each other, but they weren't hanging out or friends in the way that they once were for, Craig says, 1 to 2 years. And I think Shep echoes that. What they both echo is the line of, as soon as we just let the other one be who they are and stopped expecting them to be anyone else, everything just fell into place.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to tell Craig and Austen. I don't know if you're meant to be friends. Like they're
Not this iteration of you guys.
No. And I think that the best you can hope for, if you are really wanting to like move in a way that you have the best shot at becoming friends, you have to let go of the friendship that you had. You have to let go of like the person that you were to each other during a very specific era of your life. Like they were just different. Also, like I always forget that Shep is the one that brought Austen on, and Craig and Austen is, I mean, I don't think they really knew each other.
I don't either. I don't
this.
think they had a relationship.
Yeah. So like fresh friendships, that's those first 2 years of like a fresh friendship.
The
That's
honeymoon
like
phase.
It really is like a honeymoon phase. And now like they've both been through some things since that happened. And Craig, out of anyone, is really just like, and this is why it's just so easy to relate to him, because like if you've ever had that breakup, like you just are like, you're watching him walk through it and going, remember that, remember that, remember that, remember that. So like he's not in his normal mind right now. And you know what? Maybe that's not a great trait he has. Maybe it sucks that like Craig's at his best when he does have a woman in his life. It would be great if we could all be the best versions of ourselves solo, but I've always said, like, I don't believe in that shit. When people say that whole thing about, oh, you have to be ready, you have to be happy alone to be happy with someone else. I just don't buy that. I think you can always be a little bit sad being alone. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
You don't know me.
I think it's weird that we shame people for that and
Yeah.
think that they've got to be in like the tip top shape and like the best shape, like physically and mentally and emotionally and like.
Listen,
If I was all those things by myself, I would just stay by myself.
No, I think that like there's truth to it in the sense like we were talking about it earlier.
Yeah,
I think,
you can't be a total nut job.
right, and you can't have like these bad characteristics as like
Yeah.
you're not going to show up to be a good partner
Yeah.
or you're not showing up as someone that you would want to be with, right? Like I think if you're showing up for a relationship as someone that you would want to be with,
Yeah.
then yeah, I get it. Like I get bummed out that I don't have a significant other and I love my life. I have a beautiful full life.
Yeah.
But like I said in the beginning, I know I will be happier when I have my person.
Exactly.
I just will.
And Courtney is like the one person you can rely. Like every morning she wakes up doing work on herself. Like the work never ends with this
It
one.
really doesn't,
Like it's a real
sadly.
conscious streaming state of mind. Like you practice it in all avenues of your life. No one can be more prepared for this next thing.
I'm ready for you, buddy.
Yeah. So like you are at your tip top right now, and you still would be happier if you found your buddy. Like
1,000%.
yeah. So yeah, it'd be great if they could just let go and stop trying to become the friends that they once were. Let it go, and just let the relationship just chill and see what it forms. Like you don't want to be the same friends you two drunk asses were a few years ago. Like I think you both have grown up since then. I hope that you have, and I think you.
Listen, I'll give Craig that credit straight up. I think Craig has probably grown up. Austin,
No,
I don't know
not
if
at all.
that dude's grown up ever.
You know, Austen has had a real, and I'm wondering if it's actually, sounds dark, but it could be helping him. You know, he was on Nick Viall.
I
Have you-
listened.
So you've heard the controversy around, what did you think? Okay, just to fill you in, if you didn't already know this, if you're living under a rock, because if I know it, everyone should know it, because I know nothing. It took me 3 days to find out that Katie Janela wasn't coming back to Orange County. They didn't ask her back. This was news to me
Low
yesterday.
Red said it happened over Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Oh my, No.
By the
think
way,
that
I
she
found
was
out when
like-
you posted it, so I don't know a lot of things.
Okay.
So
Well, it says on her thing, when I found it on her thing yesterday, it was 3 days old that her statement happened 3 days ago. So I don't know if like it was news or whispers or gossip mill, whatever that we found out before, but like she only came and said, so I have some news I didn't get asked. That was 3 days ago. But anyhow, the thing with Austen went on Nick Viall, and I guess Natalie either didn't know about the whole incident with his sister when he was a child, or, you know, sometimes you never know. As an interviewer, you might ask a question as if you don't know, because you're giving that person space to, you're not going to come in with anything preconceived. You're just going to be like, oh, tell me about that, as if you know nothing, because like, I don't think that's always a bad tact, but America was up in arms.
it
about
really
What
upset
happened?
so many.
She asked him
Yeah.
about what?
She said, so I think that they were just talking about the show, and then it was like a hard pivot where
It was.
Natalie just says, so,
She even said that. She goes, not to make a hard, like something.
okay, so she addresses it. Why don't you, because I didn't listen to it. I've only
Oh.
heard the story. So,
Oh, okay. So basically, yeah, they were talking business as usual, talking about Southern Charm, which they all called Charm, which I don't like that nickname. I want a new nickname. It makes me think of Lucky Charms. Anyway, you know, like, because we're doing Charm, we're shooting Charm. And Natalie's like, yeah, like they're just like, that's interesting. She goes, real quick, not to, like, we'll get back to all of that, but I had no idea that, like, all of that stuff about your sister. And it was a stark contrast and like a real about face to what they were talking about. I think there's a few things happening. One, he does talk about it on the show, and I think that, I don't know if she heard that and thought maybe this was something that he did openly discuss.
yeah.
And it was not like, you never completely heal from watching a tragedy happen to your
Yeah.
family member, right? Or losing a family member at such a young age. But because he talks about it, I don't know if maybe she thought like, oh, this is something that we could just
Open
dive
season. Yeah.
right into. Exactly. And I don't think she's a bad person. I don't think she was trying to have some like gotcha moment.
I don't think so either at all.
Yeah, she just doesn't seem that way. I
No.
could be wrong. I don't listen to the show a lot, but that's just how she reads to me.
Yeah.
I think she didn't, where I think she really struggled is, one, the way she said it was it was a stark contrast to what they were talking about.
Yeah.
And I don't think she read the room well,
Right.
because as he was talking about it, you could feel, he was like, oh, we're just going to go there. And it was like, oh, like I almost wish like they edited it out, because I feel like so many people know what happened and it was not
Yeah.
pertinent to the conversation
Yeah.
that
You're
they were
not bringing
having with
new
them.
info.
Right. And it also didn't tie in
Yeah.
to what they were talking about in a way that they couldn't have said it in another way. Like, he did talk about how his inability to be a good significant other, you know, his therapist points out all the time, is tied to the fact that it's, you know, a lot of it stems from, you lost your sister in a really tragic way. And so you're scared to bank on forever and to really like just put all of your eggs in another person's basket and all the things that are like, you know, Psych 101, right?
Yeah. Like the duh.
Yes. So like it was kind of germane to the conversation, but you could have talked about it in
Yeah.
such a lighter way. And she didn't do it. And she was asking the questions like, so did you like see it?
Yeah.
Like the tone was really off. The manner in which she kept harping on it was not a good look.
Yeah.
But I don't think, with all of that being said, like, yes, this is a good learning experience for her. And she might want to call him up and just say, I am so sorry, in hindsight and clearly from everyone's reaction to it. Like that was really out of line, or even say it on the show so people can have some closure with it.
Yeah.
Because I think it probably also triggered other people. But
Yeah.
I don't think she's a bad person. I just think she needs to learn from that and maybe just make an apology saying like,
Yeah.
when you know better, you do better. And I clearly addressed that in the worst way I could have. Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense. And my like first like reflex reaction is to say, you know, nobody, like that's the thing about all these like new podcasts, is that people used to like go to journalism school and have to come up in the ranks of a newsroom or working on a talk show as an assistant and maybe an associate producer at some point, and like, and they're watching pros and learning. That's what most entertainment jobs are. Like, don't waste your time going to school if you want to work in entertainment. Get right in there, because that's the fastest way to move up. You're never going to learn more than just getting in there.
Wish I knew you at 18. Just kidding. I loved
but you
college.
are an actor, and you went for a craft of that. I believe
still doesn't matter out here, apparently.
I don't think you're going to learn how to act by being on a De Niro set. Like, I just don't.
By the way,
listen, I give that probably sounds stupid. I'm sure a lot of people have learned a lot of things from Robert De Niro, so I don't mean to say it that way. I just mean practicing a craft, being held to account. You got to memorize things every single day. Like, Robert De Niro's not asking the PA, "Did you memorize this morning? I want to hear it."
That's right.
It seems to me like this could easily be a case of podcasters aren't real journalists. I mean, maybe some of them are, but like, we're all just kind of like, I could never interview
Christina
anyone.
Coca is closer to a journalist than Natalie is, in my opinion.
1,000,000%. Yeah, she worked in a newsroom.
Yeah.
Because she is a journalist.
Yeah, because she
and
literally
was
is
a paid
one.
journalist.
Yeah.
Oh, I always, I don't know why. Every time I thought I just didn't want to mislabel her. I thought every time we called her a journalist, for some reason I thought she was like, not technically a journalist, as something else, but I consider her a journalist.
Maybe she did, but yeah, she's the closest thing to a journalist that I know. I don't know any real journalists.
Her research is so flawless. It's
and ethical.
unbelievable.
Yeah. So there's that, but I have to say, 5 minutes ago, Natalie lived in what is Georgia or South Carolina or somewhere over there. She met Nick. She slipped into his DMs. And it works, ladies. Sometimes it works. You can DM your favorite reality star or celebrity, and fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I have seen Natalie do a bunch of interviews, and I have always actually found her to be surprisingly good. She will get people. She's cried with people.
No, I
she's
agree.
gotten people to cry as she. Not that she sets out. I don't mean it that way, but she's actually
authentic.
Yeah, she is. Like the show or not, I don't know. Whatever. This was a bad day. Clearly, a bad instinct, or just maybe everyone just has a day that they're just not as careful as they were for the last 6 weeks, and then it's like I don't know. Maybe sometimes we don't treat reality stars with the utmost respect of if we were interviewing, Robert De Niro. I don't know why I can only remember Robert De Niro's name right now. So, maybe she got a little lax in her gig for the day, and yeah, it'll be a learning experience, but I don't, I'm not into holding her to the fire for this.
Yeah, listen, it was definitely off color for her. It was definitely not the right way to approach it. I think. And she seems like a pretty with it person. I hope that she does address it in a really thoughtful way.
I wonder if they have.
Maybe they even have. If someone knows, let us know.
Ton of press, though, all over Page Six, all over. I don't know if it's what they say is real. No.
Press is bad press.
Yeah.
But I genuinely don't think she was doing it to have some headline moment, because that would be really dark.
Yeah. Worst case, she had an off day and she didn't hold herself to the standard that she that we've all gotten used to.
Yeah. And it was weird that she couldn't read Austen, because you could see that he was uncomfortable. And I feel like she is good at normally not doing that to someone. So
the way that the whole reason I even brought any of this up was to say that Austen has been, feel bad saying this after we've just brought up a horrible thing that's happened to him, but has not been an inspired character for a few seasons now. I don't know if they've sidelined him. I don't know if it's his own thing. He seems kind of lost. He doesn't seem focused on anything. Shep is a passionate traveler. Craig is a passionate entrepreneur, but I understand that other people started his business, blah, blah, blah. But he's doing things. I don't know what Austen's doing. Austen to me feels very much like a wanderer now.
Same.
Yeah.
Was Taylor and Shep season 8 or no? What was season 9? Do you remember?
I think they were season 8 and 9, because 10.
What was the big storyline of who got
season 8? They were dating. Season 9 was the breakup. I think that's it. Because season 10 was
Craig or Austen?
Sienna.
Just in general. Last year was Shep and his fake girlfriend. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
This year's going to be probably Craig's crash out season.
Yep.
So it just in regards to this,
right. And the season before, season 10, season 9 was the whole aftermath of Shep's breakup with Taylor. And then remember, Austen hooked up with Taylor, and it was that whole.
Allegedly.
No. They
No,
said they
they
hooked up.
admitted
Oh,
it.
really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
I
So,
think
like,
that
Austen
they
hasn't
did it.
had a season in a while. And the only thing that
A
he's
season
had,
and a half. He's been on the bench because season 9 was him and it was the gossip with him and Taylor and Olivia and Shep. That was the whole storyline in season 9.
Yeah, the best season that Austen ever had is when he was with Madison. And even though it was like his worst season in the way of like, you know, that he got caught having a threesome and or whatever it was. I don't even really remember all the details of it now. I'll never forget that the iPhone footage, you know, like
Same.
you don't forget. And they showed it 20 million times.
I'm
you
good
know?
to not remember it.
But like what was the best thing was seeing him. You've never seen him more vulnerable and real than you did when Madison put the kibosh on the relationship and he was devastated.
Yeah.
And like that. So that's the last
called
time
him
I
a
remember.
beta ass bitch in a treehouse.
Yeah. That's the last time I remember Austen having a season that I was like focused on his journey or whatever you want to call it.
So the last 2 significant things for Austen are you banged Shep's ex-girlfriend, right? And you destroyed your relationship with the probably arguably the best chick you're ever going to get while
Yeah.
having a threesome, and then got called a beta ass bitch in a treehouse.
Yeah.
Like, is there a part of Austen that is starting to be a little like, off? Where's my season? Where's my storyline?
Maybe he is a
Can I
beta
get
ass bitch,
something
and
that's
that's why he doesn't have
not?
one.
Maybe
He
and
had
maybe
it.
that's why he's upset. But he hasn't had what?
No,
has
he had
had?
it. We gave him another shot at that when we gave him the second best girl, aside from, well, unless you're counting other people, you know, on the show, was Olivia. And he totally led her on and then cheated on, like, didn't cheat,
This
but
is my
like, you
point,
know.
though. Like,
Yeah.
everything that Austin's had, see, storyline wise, he's either fucked up or it's gotten fucked up, or like he's not had a banger season like Craig has had.
Yeah.
He's not had listen, say what you will about last year. Shep, there's a banger season for Shep, right?
Yeah.
Whether it was real or fake or what. He got
No,
the
no,
whole
it was,
season,
yeah.
and like everyone was talking about it. It was, you know, whatever. Like it was. I'm not saying he looked amazing, but he got a lot of attention. Some people, not all negative, right? Some of it, some negative, some not. But like my point is, like, if Austen seems lost and victim-y and always arguing with Craig, is there something in him that's like, what am I even doing? You guys don't show my beer. I can't get a fucking good storyline. You know, whatever. Is that?
You know, I don't think like Austen seems like one of those people that just rides the coattails or like he's not making real decisions, and he's not saying like, I've put everything into my beer company or I am going after this girl. So you're not getting an A storyline because you're not bringing an A storyline. And it's so funny because Austen even said they're in such competition. Winchester could not have nailed this
Yeah.
more. I forget if he said it on the show or if he said it on Nick Viall, where he said, oh, when Madison called you, because they brought up being called a beta ass bitch, and he said that was actually something Craig said and Madison parroted it to me. Like, they are so deeply in competition.
I would also be pissed if I were Craig and I'd be like, that was such a stellar line. And Madison is now, because I will never, that was Madison's best moment that I ever saw. Like that's the thing that brings, every time I think of
a
like,
calling card, if you will.
yeah. Just like, this would be like Britney copywriting, what's it called? High body count hair. Yeah, I would be bummed. But maybe Craig was like, no, you can have it. Because they're buddies.
Yeah.
Wait, I probably interrupted you. What did you
Oh
say?
no, I was just thinking though that like if we go back a little bit to what we were saying earlier, Craig and Austen were really tight, legit friends when Austen first came on the show. And they clearly have had a break in that friendship. They can't get back to it. It's almost like in a relationship when someone cheats and you really love the person and you want to make it work, but you just can't.
Yeah.
Like you can't unscramble that egg.
Yeah.
Every time you go out, if I don't hear from you and you don't answer the phone, like look at Amanda and Kyle, I think you're cheating on me. I feel like whatever happened between the two of them is irreparable.
I think so too.
I think that there's maybe we thought Austen was a more A storyline person because he was connected to an A storyline person.
Yeah.
And now that they've had this chasm in their friendship, we see like, no, Austen's a great character on the show, but we just have to accept him as a B player. He's a supporting player.
Yeah.
He's not giving us a Shep storyline, a Craig storyline, a Taylor story. Like, it's just not.
No,
happening.
it feels like his entire story is like Vanita's entire story, which is Craig really screwed us. You know, it's like it just at a point, and unfortunately, because Austen fits so well into this like Charleston story, he's held to much less of a standard than the Vanitas of the world are. Like
100%.
he just skates, you know, like the amount that Austen brings is really friend of level at this point. And I hope that this is a thing that just like lights a fire under his ass. Like I
think at this point, Austen is fire retardant. I don't know if he can catch fire. Like the cake might be baked with this dude.
Now that Craig's bounced Salley and she's so mad about it, rumor has it that once he breaks up with Audrey, that's Salley and him have a thing.
Yeah,
Or
no, I
Salley
don't think it's a
pursues-
rumor. She was just on Watch What Happens and was like, if you think I went for Craig hard, you don't know what's coming. I went for Austen way harder.
See, but here's the thing. Number one, I love that. Salley, great.
Yeah,
Keep
what did I
going.
say when Salley came on? Is Salley the new Madison? And just to clarify, you don't wake up, you don't arrive on scene as Madison, but you've got maybe some Madison tendencies, and what you do with the next 3 to 5 years is on you. If you want to get there, you got some changes to make, but she's got it in her to be that kind of a character.
She even said, I look at Madison as a big sister.
Yeah, zero. It's there's not many people that really go about their everyday life with like not giving two shits what anyone thinks, and she's got that. So
Sounds like
that's
the
why
new
he
Shep.
likes her.
The way she's boy crazying it up.
The next scene, I want to actually read a comment about it because it's when Vanita Leva, Molly and Rod all go to lunch and they're talking about like the whole Salley Craig thing. And I mean, listen, we can save this for later, but like the only person that didn't know that Craig wasn't into Salley was Salley.
Yeah.
Like even Leva, who's not even on the show this season, knew. Because they all sat at this lunch being like, but he doesn't even like her.
If you, listen, I'm not just asking a question.
Please.
If you spent multiple nights in the hot tub or a long night in the hot tub with a dude and
Yeah.
you guys had an amazing time, giggling, drinking, the whole thing, and then you left and he texted you, that was fun.
Yeah.
And you texted him back, it was fun. I wish I should have stayed. And then he says to you,
You could have stayed.
you could have stayed if you wanted.
Yeah.
Would you think, oh, that dude's not into me? He's clearly not into me.
I would have felt like,
He's
I think
into
we're
you.
walking the line and seeing if there's something there, but I wouldn't have thought that
Right,
like,
but you're not clueless. You're not the odd man out. Like to say that
but-
Sally's the only one who didn't know that Craig wasn't into her is ridiculous. He literally texted her and said, you could have stayed if you want. Like he literally said to her, if you would have stayed, I would be interested. So how is she to think? How is she, well, I don't understand. I don't understand how she's the only one that's clueless when he literally told her, you can stay at my house. She has a code now. She has the code to his house. Like what? She doesn't like all. These are all signs pointing to he wants something. He just at least wants to bang.
He
Maybe
was
not get
open.
married or have a relationship.
That
We're
in the
talking
beginning.
chickens. We're going chicken shopping. He's telling me, oh, you can stay at my house overnight. Here's my secret code to my house. Like,
but haven't you ever like, because you asked me like, would I think that? And I said, no, I would think like, okay, we're figuring it out. We're seeing if there's like, there's two guys in my mind right now who are current people in my life that I'm like, yeah, like this guy knows I'm flirting a little bit, but he doesn't know where I'm at. And he's a dude, so I know he would want to have sex because all dudes want to bone. But like, he knows that like maybe I'd be interested, but maybe I'm not. Like, I don't know. I can't tell if I'm interested, but I want to see you a little bit more to even see if I would be interested.
Yeah.
And I would think that if I was in Sally's shoes and that's how Craig was acting, and Craig hadn't like made a move to kiss me yet or whatever, I'd be like, I think maybe he wants
knowing who Craig is, that he's not that guy. But he did ask you. He
What do you
did
mean
say
not that guy?
He's not that guy. He's not a
You know what,
kiss and
just-
tell guy. He's not a make out. He's a long term guy. Like
I feel
he's in
like
it
when
for
I'm
the
talking
long
about this
game.
with you, I feel like all of my words are going through some like weird translator and hitting you differently than I'm
They're
trying to
not.
express them.
You're not. You said that Sally's the only person that didn't realize Craig didn't want anything to do with her.
because that's what they said at lunch. They were all sitting there being like, but he's not into her. No? Did I not see that in the scene?
No. They said that, but I don't like if you want to keep going with this, please. But I don't think that. I think that they are all obsessed with talking about this dude. I don't think that anybody was looking at this like he doesn't even like her like that. They just like no one is here for Craig. Like that whole group. I call that loser lunch on loser lake. That's what that lunch seemed like to me. Leva couldn't wait to get her point out. Wait, I'm sorry. Did you want to?
Oh, sorry. The only thing I want to say is I'm just paraphrasing. I'm like cutting to the punch and being quippy about it. Like the only one who didn't know that he didn't like Salley is Salley. Like, did they directly come out and each person say exactly what I said verbatim? No, but Vanita's made such a big stink about like, he ain't into you like that. This isn't the way it's going to go for you, my love. And she was clearly right. Like she's telling.
But she wasn't right though. Like because it's like you're giving her too much credit because her intention was never to tell you this guy doesn't like you, because everything that she has said about Craig are things that we have never seen from Craig. He's going to dog walk you. He's going to love you and leave you. He's going to leave you stranded on the free. Like it wasn't, but like some version of all those things. And it never had anything to do with any of that. Craig has never shown any kind of pattern of any of those things. Again, like him or hate him, that's just not one of his things. And so it really feels like they all just wanted her to do what they wanted her to do. They didn't like that Craig had options. They wanted to take an option away. So it was like her saying he doesn't like you. Like sure, maybe she knew that like Sally's actually not the one for him, but Salley doesn't care what you're telling her. She doesn't hear what she doesn't want to hear. She
hears what she wants to hear.
She hears what she wants to. Exactly. She sees what she wants to. Later, when Craig says the thing about like every time Charlie and I would talk, she'd dart over and be like, "What are you guys talking about?" Like that is Sally's mode of operation, and it has worked a million times.
I was just gonna say it's on one level. What is that? Your best quality is your worst quality inside out.
Yeah,
like that has worked tremendously well for her, and so that's why she's a homeowner and makes probably $500,000 a year and all.
Yeah. So by them saying like we told you this was going to happen, you told her the wrong things that were going to happen. He just never was interested in pursuing her because Craig is a long-term. I'm going to pursue someone who I see a future with.
The John Mayer thing.
And to know those two is to know you're not right for each other. But the way that they wanted to phrase it always made Craig like look like he was this playboy that had this like resume of doing this kind of thing.
He's taken down.
And like he just didn't. They talked out of their ass, and a broken clock is right twice a day, and like it happened to be that like they didn't go a mile. They didn't go
the distance.
It wasn't even that they didn't go the extra mile. They didn't go a mile. They went nowhere fast.
Well, it is interesting because all of the guys say like he never hooks up with anyone, he never lands the plane, or however he puts it.
Yeah.
And they're all saying like they're saying the opposite, and it can't be both. You can't be hooking up with everybody and hooking up with no one. It's not possible. But I think what I really wanted to key in on or hone in on in this scene was in the beginning when Benita was expressing how like, she's had a lot of people disappoint her and I don't know if abandon, what was the exact word she used? Hold on. People who have abandoned her, right?
Yeah.
She's saying all of this. And we say it every episode where it's like, why is everything like just north of center with her as far as like us being able to feel like we're really getting to who Vanita is?
Yeah.
And Tony Brooks made a comment that I thought it gave me so much clarity on the Vanita situation. She said, as a Black woman, I want to give you a better understanding of why I think Vanita behaves the way she does. She's on an all-white cast and trying to find her place. I think her need to have someone pick her, be loyal to her, etc., is based on her trying to fit in. I'm not excusing her behavior, but she's the only Black woman on a show that clearly has castmates who already have a long history of friendship. It's obvious that the network thought by having her on the show, it would help bring more of a diverse audience to portray inclusion. I think they try too hard to satisfy everyone. She's not a good fit. It works with everyone else because they have a history and are real friends. She was an acquaintance that they tried to sell us as a friend. Just some food for thought. The bottom line is Vanita has some insecurities and feels a bit out of place. She doesn't know how to acclimate to the environment, being the minority. She's trying hard to show that she belongs. It's a bit awkward to watch her scenes. She's not Sierra on Summer House, who truly became friends with Paige and Amanda. New York is different than South Carolina as well. It's more inclusive and more of a diverse environment. And that made so much sense, because when I see Sierra and the other
Paige,
Summer
Amanda.
House, Paige and Amanda and all those girls with Vanita, all of a sudden I feel like I'm seeing you. This is who you are.
But have we seen more? Like, because we've been saying this entire time that we wanted her to go. We think she'd be great if she could be on the show with them, move to the city, the city.
Yes.
But have you seen her? Like, we saw her at a dinner. We saw some stills and maybe a couple quick reels.
Yes, it was just quick. Yes, no, I have not seen like a 30-minute podcast or hour-long podcast where they were all on talking or whatever. But even just those little glimpses seemed more like, oh, I feel like I'm getting to know who you are, as opposed to someone who's trying to like fit in wherever they can.
Yeah.
And that's why it just feels so disjointed and inauthentic and like uncomfortable a little bit. I don't know. That to me just made me really understand things in a way that I wasn't seeing them. Obviously, I'm not a Black woman. How would I?
Zero like discrediting that comment, but I feel like we have said exactly that a million times and given her come up with reasons, having no idea. We don't know her. And we are literally pulling reasons out of bags every week to go, I wonder if it's because of this. I think it's maybe because of this. I think the producers are doing it to her. Maybe she's getting paid more. Like, she just has bad instincts. Like, at a certain point, like I do not remember the last scene that I loved this woman in, and I am dying to like her. I don't know why, but I want this person who clearly is not like these people. Clearly not.
Yeah.
So all you want is that person to crack through. Like, and maybe there's a lot of people that don't. I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but like, I know on Showmance we have fought for this bitch time and time again, only to watch her shit the bed every single season, week after week. I thought she had the worst episode of her existence on this show tonight.
It was not good.
And
good.
I'm not holding my breath anymore. It ain't getting better. And if she doesn't remove herself from this and pursue other opportunities, then like, I cannot keep thinking, I wonder if it's this. I bet it's this. I understand. Oh, if I were her, I'm exhausted of looking for the real Vanita. Because when she says, oh, my friend since diapers just out of the blue stops talking to me one day. You've shown me no reason to just take you for your word and think that a childhood, since diapers friend just ditched you one day. Why? I would love to hear
that is
from
an
this
interesting
woman.
point.
And I would love to know, oh, JT, you went after a dude with a girlfriend. Like, I think that, like, it's hard to hide a girlfriend in a town like Charleston, I'm sure. And we saw photos of her out with the mom, JT, and the girl. Like, everyone, this was not news. She went for him anyways, and then kicked and screamed when he didn't pick her. And then she says that they were going to, after the reunion, we decided that we're going to go and really give this a go. And then, out of nowhere, he blocks me. It's one thing to be like, oh, this actually didn't work. And so she could have said he didn't even really give it a real try. And that would have been swallowable. Yeah. JT he agreed to date you on the reunion in front of however many viewers there were that night. And then he just went home and blocked you after that. Like, I'm sorry, I don't believe it. What did you say to him? No, okay, what did you guys talk about? What did you try? Like, you were probably still pissed at everything that went down over the year. I just I bullshit. I call bullshit.
Maybe this is what it is. Maybe here's the higher ground that we can land on, because what this,
and I hate JT, so this is shilling for that little hobbit with his chupamica.
Really great, because in the comment she said, I'm not excusing her behavior.
Yeah,
this is the explanation that I think really satisfies explains what's going on.
Yeah,
and so it's like, yeah, maybe this is just who she is. But that's where the learned behavior comes from, right? Where it's like growing up in this incredibly small, not diverse, kind of, Southern town, take from that what you will.
Yeah.
And maybe even if she was on like one of the New York shows, maybe she would be exactly the same because like I just said earlier, with someone else, wherever you go, there you are. But it did make me understand that maybe that's not even on the show where it's like, yes, she's the only Black person on an all white cast. Maybe she's kind of like the only Black person at her school when she was growing up in her town still. Like, I just don't know if there was really any diversity around her. And maybe that's her learned behavior of always trying to just fit in. And maybe that's why it's so exacerbated now.
This is not like all of that. Not only could it be true, it's probably true.
Yeah.
She's in the, like, I'm sure there's a handful of towns that are the worst place for a girl like Venita. This is probably one of them.
Yeah.
The issue with her is that I would say that if she is homegrown from this town, you got to have some friends outside of this show. Like if you spent your entire life here and this is where your family is from, you have earned your right to go to the producers and say, I want my friend Becky to come on I want to go to lunch with her. I want to have her come with me to this pajama party, pizza night, whatever.
To help me shoot content for my job.
There's always a random person there that like Madison had Lauren. I don't know who Lauren is, but now I do. She was on the show. Got a good look at her. I would like to see Venita bring in a friend. Either she doesn't have any, or they're not letting her bring them on. And if they're not letting them bring you on and you're failing season after season and not showing your best side, at a certain point, you gotta go. You gotta remove yourself from this or stay, make that money. Cause I'm literally equally like both of those are totally great.
Valid options, valid choices for you.
Totally valid. I'd be 100% behind either of them. But then do not expect any of us as viewers who are only shown what is on the screen to like, she said the other day that she has a social media person. She never looks at anything. Like if she does a story of herself, she sends it to the person and then they deal with it all. I think they might send her little things now like that are good, because everybody needs some, I would do the same way. Yeah. Hype me up here. Like I need some hype points. So I don't know if this is just going to be her, year after year after year after year, like just cool, make your money. Don't expect anyone to be wearing a Team Venita shirt. I just want to say that I think it's totally pathetic and really atrocious that Leva, being the ultimate grandstander, get on her soapbox, virtue signaling across the world about all of her social justice warrior issues. That's who she's been from the get. After everything that she has said and spanked everyone for their, not so responsible choice of words and blah, blah, blah. She could not get it out of her mouth fast enough when they asked, why, Salley doesn't come to, we used to work out all the time. It actually used to be me. Rod says this. It actually used to be Rod, me, and Salley. And then Salley doesn't come anymore. Oh, because she's late nighting at Craig's. Like, I felt slut shamey. Like you're gonna say to a group of people and listen, Salley doesn't give a shit who knows what. She's down to tell you. But I just think
she gave someone half a blowjob.
If you were, yeah, exactly. And she'll tell you. But it's her business to tell you. If you are going to be the person who is constantly like, the obnoxious Karen on the show, doing that all the time, then like, I'm sorry, you don't get to come out of the gates chomping at the bit to say something like that and not expect everyone to be like, well, if I was on the fence about her before, I know who she is now. She's a fake ass hoe. Nobody's expecting me to come correct all the time because I never do. But if you make that your entire character, then we're going to be watching.
That's right. It's like if you're constantly pointing out the stains on other people's outfits, then you better come pressed and pristine every time we see you. It's just a very slippery slope to live on.
Yeah. And also, Molly, I don't know, the last couple episodes with her, and it's not like, listen, she can obviously have her beef with Salley, and by the end of this episode, I'm out on Salley too. Like, I'm not out on her as in I don't like her, but like at the end of the episode, my overarching closeout will be, y'all deserve each other, every single one of you. So Molly could have whatever issue she has with Salley, and Godspeed, I couldn't give a shit less. But there's this, I don't know, Molly's feeling a little womp womp to me this season. She just, it's kind of like, I don't like, and she's doing her music when she's talking about that stuff. It's great, but like, it's I don't know. There's an air about her that I just want her to kick it into high gear. She had a great platform to jump off of, like with what she's doing, and I don't think she's seizing the day. With it as she should
there's
be.
like a failure to launch. With her.
Yeah.
Which also seems like her personality, unfortunately, just in the sense that I think that sometimes she doesn't realize how great she is. And like, you can go like jump and grow wings on the way down. You will figure it out. You're smart, you're talented, you're beautiful, you're likable. I don't know if she believes all of that about herself wholeheartedly like the audience does. And so I think it causes her to pause or just not fully cast off the bow lines and set sail.
Like, she just has so many good things going on for her this season, for her not to be going full speed ahead with all of that, especially if you want to be an entertainer, you want to be a singer.
Yeah.
Like, there is no time for this, like there's
your
no
best
room
foot
for
forward
it.
and open
Yeah,
your
be a
mouth, girl.
star.
Get
like,
in the game.
Because there's a bajillion people out there competing with you.
Is there a chance that, we've talked about this multiple times, that with the exception of Charlie, who we don't really know a ton about yet, she's the only normal person on the show. Is there a chance with the amount of faces that she's making that she's maybe sitting there going, I don't belong here. I don't belong on this show. I don't belong around you people. You guys are all freaking crazy. I got shit going on. Like, that's the vibe I'm getting from her, is that she's having this internal dialogue and conflict of like, well, I don't want to associate with this group of people.
I think you could be absolutely, as they say, dead on balls accurate. But then, like, one, this isn't your first rodeo with reality TV, you know, because she was on America's Next Top Model. And then you join this for, like, she understands the game.
Yeah.
Right? Especially being that this is your second reality TV show. So it's like, then,
But
as my dad would say, shit or get off the pot. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And especially if you want to continue being in the entertainment industry. It's not like she wants to get off and, like, go homestead. She wants to be a singer.
She also nailed Shep. Like, you're in. We've jumped you in. You know?
You jumped yourself in.
You got to nail Shep again if you want to.
You humped yourself in.
You humped yourself
Which I
in.
fully appreciate, Molly.
Okay,
so
hold
the
on,
next,
hold on. I had something else, and I can't even remember what exactly they said now. But I felt like they went in on the like girl thing again. And I just like, I would just love to hear what the definition of girl. Like, I think that we've got completely different definitions. I'm not sure what they're expecting from Salley. All the ways that Vanita feels wronged, I just think it's absolute horseshit. She can not like Salley because Salley is obviously a bottomless pit of need for male attention. That is a thing. We all know that girl that does that. Like, can you just put your phone down and be here instead of wondering if like any of the 9 dudes you've met in the last 10 days, if one of them's gonna maybe see if you want to meet up later at some point and you're all dressed waiting for that. So like, I get that. I'm looking as she's entertainment to me right now. So like, I don't really care, but like, I understand that would be really annoying. But like, what is a girl's girl? Because it just seems like a girl's girl to these two girls, Lev and Vanita, is someone who listens to exactly what we say and acts accordingly. When they say jump, you say how high, or you're not a girl's girl. I feel like they want to talk about, oh, he's going to dog walk you. You're not mad about the idea of Craig dog walking you, even though we all know that's horseshit anyways, that's just not his thing. Like, pick again. They would like to be the ones dog walking her, and she's not. They don't want to share the leash with Craig. They want the leash for themselves. And I hope they watch this and just see how pathetic they look. Just like this whole thing is about Craig and Salley. Like, don't the four of you have anything else to do than talk about these two?
I don't know. It didn't. I hear you. This scene didn't bum me out like that. It more so. I wasn't necessarily invested in it. I agree with you. I don't know where. I've never seen Craig walk a dog like a girl, that because that's it. Just we haven't. Maybe he does it off camera. We haven't seen him, and that's what she said. Like he's gonna walk you like a dog, and that went over my head in the sense of really, because we've just seen him kind of be in relationships that haven't worked out, not walk you like a dog,
and they all leave him. They're all dog walking him.
That's right.
He's just going along, ba-dum, 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 and then suddenly, like the owner's gone. Hey, where did everyone go?
Yeah, and I just feel like I just kind of checked out a little bit with the scene, and all I was focused on was like I just keep trying to get. I don't know. I'm fascinated yet annoyed with Benita, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think I was only focused on that in the beginning of the scene and whatever. The next scene is, speaking of walk you like a dog, we are in the feed store, and I love a feed store. I also, my only two notes from the scene, besides the fact that the chicks are real cute, is Craig knew she was going to say something before she said it. Like we've all been in that situation, whether it's completely staged and they're like, okay, Craig, Sally's going to say this to you or not. Like it just read that way. And then I don't want to get into a fight with Mike because I love him so much. And it could just be the editing. Okay.
There was weird editing. There was some weird where you could just tell that words, because you'll hear it from me all the time because I'm constantly going on, and then I got to cut out all the avenues I took that I realized this is not the avenue. So I get it.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh no, I mean editing like over the whole season.
Oh,
because I just feel, and by the way, I've been this girl that I used to, when I was in high school, I worked at a water slide, and there was a kid that also worked at the water slide, and I had a big crush on him, and his last name began with a T, and I even had Adidas slides that had T's on them, but it was for the University of Tennessee because I like the colors, not because I'm into that university at all. I'm sure it's great. I know nothing about it except their colors are orange and white. And everyone made fun of me. They're like, oh, is that because you like so-and-so? And I'm like, it is now.
Yeah.
And he had no interest in me. But he would do certain things, and then I would call up my best friend Molly, and I'm like, oh my God, Molly,
what do you think of this?
He stayed late when like we were mopping the floor, and he helped me mop the floor. And but I wasn't really picking up on it. And even when he wasn't giving me all the signals, I was like, oh, he just doesn't know. Yeah. They don't know. Like, he just doesn't know what he's missing.
Yeah.
Let me try this tack. Let me try this thing.
I'm going to wear my string bikini tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to bring in cookies for everyone, but mostly you, Mr. T. And like, we've all done it. And I just thought, like, I feel like all season, Sally's just not really getting the signals. Even when we're at the beach and she sees Salley, Craig and Charlie flirting, like, none of this has really sunken in. Like, yes, okay, I'm spending late nights in his I was gonna say hospital room. What is it? A hot tub. Sorry, I'm tired. In his hot tub, but like he's never laid one on me. That tells you something.
Yeah.
We hang out all the time, but he's never tried to hold my hand. Like, these are things that you haven't received from him. So maybe when you say I have kind of caught feelings and he doesn't reciprocate that, it's a little bit more obvious for you. And by the way, like I keep saying, I've been in Sally's shoes before. Sometimes you just don't want to hear it. But that's what I took from this scene.
I think after you spend, a whole month, because that's all you talk about is how many times you've been to the hot tub and nothing's happened. So I'm sure what a month probably feels like 6 months, because you're just, any time that you're waiting for something that never happens, it feels like forever. So you've waited 6 months. You waited for something to happen. You've finally decided, like, I'm gonna tell this dude. I'm gonna get it all out there and say
I'm gay.
I'm just a girl looking for a boy to whatever that line is.
A girl standing in front of a boy asking him to love her.
Yeah. Well, in this case, it was a girl standing in front of a boy and a Econo-sized bag of what was it? Grain worms in her work scrubs. If it all comes down to this moment, I don't know if I'm showing up in medical scrubs and doing this in the insect killer aisle, with worms next to me. That's what almost makes me think like that it and I hate this because like sometimes I think we should do the show where it's like, okay, if we think it's fake, here's our discussion for that. If we're going off screen, here's our discussion for that. So if we're going on screen, that's ridiculous. But it puts a point to the, is this just for a storyline by like, you know what? We actually need to shoot that tonight where you tell him you like him. And she's like, oh, but I work until this. Well, how long are you guys going to be there? We're going to need you there at 6. Okay, well, I have to come straight from work. Oh, that's fine. Just come because that's not how you do it.
Yeah.
Call me old fashioned. I'm sorry. I understand that everyone's allowed to look and put on makeup or not put on makeup or blow their hair out or not or what. But like if this has been all leading up to this moment, I just think you should have asked him to meet you for dinner somewhere, and this should have taken place with dim lights and your hair down.
Sundress.
Yeah, if you really were trying to get if the goal was to get laid.
Wait, can I just say something really quickly? She said something a few episodes back in one of her confessionals where she was just like, I have tried everything and this guy still hasn't hooked up with me. Like, I don't know any guy who like, I would do this, that, and the other, and I'm still not getting, like laid or a kiss or whatever. And it's like, right, Salley, you're the answer's in the question.
Yeah. If it's never happened before.
Like, why? She's like, why isn't this working? And I just think that like that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And like I keep saying, I've also done this. I get it.
She's the meathead she usually dates. I'm sure this works hook, line, and sinker. She's never had to worry about this before. And she is completely discombobulated over this thing. Like 9 out of 10 times this work. Well, Craig is an offbeat oddball. If you didn't know that already, then you were never the girl for him to begin with. And
Which you weren't.
Yeah.
The next scene up is when Charlie FaceTimes her mom. I don't care. Her mom seems great. Charlie's great. I don't care. No, I got nothing from that
No,
scene.
I have nothing, but I will say that I love that her mom was like so cute, so peppy, camera ready, had her lipstick on, her bright blue eyes. She was there to, knock it back, and that's a date then. Like she just
You go on that date, girl.
Yeah.
she
I want
was-
Charlie to stick around just so we can meet her mom at some point.
Yeah,
And I
she
just
seems like
thought
a good time.
she seems like a good ad, a good pop in.
The scene after that is when Salley goes to Madison's ultrasound, which I actually think for the first time this season, we've seen a different side of Salley here. This is where she did get vulnerable and say like, I am dating with intention. When earlier in the season, I felt
Who's she dating?
No, she just said that in her confessional.
Right, but dating who? Who are you dating?
I think she meant to say that she would like when she goes on a date, it is with the intention of, but there's really not been a lot to back that up. Like
Right. That's why it's like,
Yeah.
because she's just kind of like, I'm boy crazy and I'm having fun. And someone said, if you want to be a wife, date like a wife. And she's like, why would I do that? And
Yeah.
I just think maybe Salley has like a few more lessons to learn in this area. And
Yeah.
you could tell like Sally's lonely.
No, totally. But now I understand. Okay, now I understand why you said that, because you're like, all we've heard from you is that like you're this like going along to get along.
No, I think he
good time
means who
gal.
she's dating Craig. That's why she's saying date with
No,
intention.
she's dating no one. Who's she dating? She's not dating Craig.
Well,
She's hanging out in his hot tub. Who's she dating? You're dating with intention? Who are you dating?
Even if someone hasn't asked me out on a date, I am still a person who is dating. I might not have a date this week planned with someone, but like I'm in the world. You can ask me out on a date. I may or may not say yes. And I say to people like, no, I'm dating to be with someone for like, I have an intention behind the dates I go on, even if I don't have a date scheduled. I
Yeah.
think that's what she meant. No?
I think that she took.
There was like a year that I didn't go out on a date. And I still would say like I am dating with intention. And the reason I didn't go out on the dates because I was intentionally not going out with people that I
If you
didn't see
hadn't been on
with.
a date if you were on a reality show and you have not shown a date in however long, right? Was there dates last year except for, was she with what's his name? No.
Yeah, well,
Dates last year?
yeah, that guy with the nose ring.
It just seemed that was my reaction when she was like, I'm dating with intention. I was like, who? Who are you dating? I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you want to go on a date, you intend to meet someone that you will marry and have a family with. That makes sense. But for you to sit here and be like, this doesn't make sense because you're dating. She's not dating. She's not dating anybody that we know of, right? There's no, I went out after Craig's and went to, last night I didn't go to Craig because I had a date with a dude from Tinder. Oh, remember Jeff that we met? I had a date with him. I'm going on this date. Oh, Austen's, there's none of that. So like, it's not serious. It's just a joke of like, you're dating. You're not dating though. You're not. I get that you want to date. I get that you want to intend to have a marriage and a babies. Like I get that. But you're not dating.
I just think in the
anyone.
single world, like I've heard a lot of my girlfriends say, like, I'm not dating. Like I am single. I am happy being single. I don't want to be with a guy. And I'm like, oh no, that's not me. Like I am dating. Even if I haven't gone on a date in a year, I'm still like I want to go on a date. Like I'm open for business. There are girls that are not even open for business.
I think what threw me off about her saying that was that people are telling her to date with intention. They literally brought up, aren't you trying to get married? And she's like, so you need to act, dress for the job you want or whatever, like that last thing was. And so we were all left thinking that she actually, and I liked her answer. She was like, why would I act like a wife when I'm not a wife? Like, I understood what they were trying to tell her, but I also respected her answer. Like, no, give me the job. I don't work for free. Like it's just like one of those things. I sometimes I love like just the balls behind younger women who are just like, yeah, no, why would I do that? That doesn't make any sense.
But I don't think people meant like go to his home and do his laundry. I think it's more like you can't shtup on the first date.
Right. Totally. So like she had said when this all came up, I think it was after a conversation when she was saying that she's got like 10 different people stopping by the party tonight that like, I don't know, like because she's just out there like willing to do a vibe check on anyone who's interested on having one, And so it now seems that Craig has made her decide that now she is dating with intention. And I think that she's maybe falling into like what we always say about dudes or what you say about dudes. Like, it's funny that like literally the second that a dude is ready to get married, he just marries the next person that like walks in front of him.
Yeah. The next open cab that'll take him somewhere. That's what he's doing.
After all of the work, after all of the time he spent with like so many women that would be better suited for him, now he's literally just marrying the plainest Jane that has nothing in common. Like this makes no sense. I'm looking at them doing everything I can to figure out what's the attraction between either of them. And it seems like she just decided, no, I'm gonna be in a relationship now. And like, it just doesn't work that way. Like, just because you're ready to do that doesn't mean that the person across from you is also maybe not ready for you. Like you're just not the one.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Yeah. When she's saying also like, we both want this, we both want that. We have to both want it with each other. And he wants it with your friends. So
correct. And it's funny because just to touch on those two things really quickly, I think at first when someone in the beginning of the season, when people were like, oh no, you should, if you want to be a wife, like date like a wife. And she said, why would I do that? I actually thought she was shooting herself in the foot when she said that. And I believe, yes, be free and do what you want and all that kind of stuff. But like when I was in acting school, they said, you can't, if the part calls for a nurse, you can't walk in looking like a cheerleader. You have to show them, I am a nurse. You see me as a nurse. And I think dating is the same.
I agree. I just think it's old school and a little misogynistic that like we all have to be on our.
No,
like,
I think a man needs to date like a husband in this. And
but women aren't. But they'll hold us to standards that we would never hold them to, morale wise.
How about
and
this?
How you're presenting yourself in that way.
You're probably right, which is probably why I'm single, because I am holding the standard of you want to date me to be my husband, then show up as my husband.
Yeah.
So I think, and I don't think this. I think this is a gender neutral statement. I think it is a like sexually, not sexually fluid statement, but you know what I mean. I think it goes for gay couples, straight couples, anything like trans. It's for all of us, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you want to be seen? Do you want to, whatever? Point being is then when she said at the end or in this episode, I'm dating with intention. I thought, no, you're not because you're not dating, just because it's like, no, you're literally just like throwing everything to the wall to see what's like you're boy crazy. So that's not
you're throwing a
with
chicken
intention.
coop at the wall to see if it will put itself
Hatch
together.
an egg.
Yeah, hatch an egg. Another that reminds me, one more thing from the last scene that I forgot that was kind of annoying to me because I just like I hate this. It's really gross to me. When Rod said, well, I know he's not going to date her seriously because he's not going to date anyone who slept with Shep. While I understand the sentiment, like nobody loves the idea of like the person that you're with having slept with their best friend. But I just think, I don't know. I always feel bad because like they never owed you anything, that it's none of your business.
Yes,
like,
I
to
agree.
be held to account for that is just like, again, it's just misogynistic. It's just ugly.
That I fully agree.
Yeah.
Um,
And the way, all the things that Craig said in this scene, like by the end of it, like I keep saying, I will have 10,000 complaints about the way that he ends up handling it at the bar. But everything that he said to her, as much as I hated watching Salley go through that moment, because like any girl can just like watch her shoot her shot and get rejected. Like you just don't want to see that. But like everything that he said, like I was also kind of glad that he was so straightforward with her and was like, I just don't see it. Like, and that is really all. We've all been like, oh, I don't see it. That's not the vibe. I'm not feeling like this is my person. I don't see it. And then she's like, well, what have I been doing, spending all this time? And for him to say, because I thought that like maybe there would be something. And then there just wasn't. And like, again, such a bummer to hear. It's a hard truth though. You know, you can say, oh, you never gave us a shot. No, he actually did.
That's dating.
Yeah.
You try on a lot of different people and one person fits and a lot don't.
And maybe she doesn't care about this, but I sure as shit do. He didn't nail you. You don't have to be like, oh, I gave up my power. I gave him what he wanted and now he's moving on.
I do appreciate that because the sting is way less. If you really like someone and you sleep with them and then they tell you like, you're not the one, it hurts way more.
Exactly. Because that sure was the other night. You were screaming from the mountaintops.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we now get into the part of the episode that's like the guys are at, you know, the bar, kind of bar hopping, and then the girls are at the slumber party. So we can start with the guys and we can ping pong back and forth. But this is really the meat and potatoes of the episode and where the wheels fall off the bus in a glorious way for the viewers.
Guys, this is part 1. Part 2 is up and waiting for you. So head over now. Thanks. Love you. Bye.